Hello, hockey and basketball fans. My name is David. I thought I would start this video shortly after 1 on the afternoon of Wednesday, 24th of May, 2023, North American Eastern Time. What I will do is in this video discuss the end of the preliminary round of the 2024 IHF Adult Men's Worlds Championship Top Division Tournament, or 2023 to me. So just to recap, these are the teams. It's going to take place in two arenas, one in central, or at least western, or in eastern Czechia. And yeah, I can see the flags there. British and Polish teams qualified due to top two finishes in the 2023 Division 1 tournament. Now I'm going to go back to the top division tournament of this month, or this year. So the quarterfinalists are set. The Austria-Hungary game was decided in a shootout, with Austria the winner, and thus the tie on points broken with Austria's win. Austria's team will stay up for the next top division tournament. The Hungarian team will go down to Division 1 for the same tournament taking place the same year. So yeah, Slovakia was... yeah. Things would have been interesting had Canada not beaten Czechia, but did. 3-1 empty netter. So yeah, it's... So it was Latvia's 4-3. Was it regulations, you mean? Oh wait, yeah, overtime win over its Latvian counterpart. So Latvia's 4-3 win over its Czech counterpart. So Latvia finishes third. Czechia in fourth. So where do we go here? So United States finished with, was it an overtime or a shootout win? Overtime, excuse me. So the American overtime win over its Swedish counterpart broke that tie for first, and well, basically finished pretty much perfect. 7 wins, one of them in overtime, the others in regulation, and yeah, 20 points out of a possible 21. Alright, so that is... So now to go to the playoff round, and... And that is... I'm going to go to playoff round. Which one is going to be there? So we have... So the way things work is, and now we have the bracket. On the 25th of May, this is basically Eastern European time. So we have 2 at the expected start at puck drop at 9:20 that morning Eastern time, and the others for the 1:20 Eastern time. So that's on Thursday. Semifinals will be on Saturday Eastern time. But whatever they are, there's no doubt that the yes, Canada's adult men's team, if it hasn't already arrived in the south of Finland, will travel there. So yeah, so basically, doesn't really matter who Canada's going to Finland, because it was... I mean, it's not yet ready. Oh well, because Canada's adult men team would have had to already travel over to Finland anyway after the quarters if it hadn't been for that. So because again, so Thursday Eastern Time will be the last day of IHF Championship action in Latvia. Whatever does happen, because, well, it's going to be... Because all remaining games, all the 3 remaining games in that tournament, the semifinals, and well, the four main games, excuse me, semis and the medal games were taking place in Finland, Nokia Arena in Tampere in the south of the Nordic country. So Canada would have had to travel down to Finland anyway after the quarters because of that. It's about consolidation at the end. So yeah, the very interesting game played in Group A on the final day of action. So Germany had a convincing win, 5-0. And Sabulonin, goalie for France, on the goal of JT Peterka of the Sabres, had been an ugly one. I deserved that with an ugly goal. Couldn't quite seal that right post. But again, Alonin didn't really have a lot of support from his teammates in terms of goal scoring because they were shut out. I know the unfamiliar goalies and all. And Germany managed to win 4 straight games all in regulation after having lost 3 straight in regulation by 1 goal. It's a very weird tournament. I mean, yes, would the German team have done better if Tim Stützle of the Sens or Draisaitl of the Oilers had joined? Maybe. But again, one player could only make so much of an impact. It's really hard to know. But again, it's Canada's adult men's team did snap a mini losing streak. Streak where it ended up being outscored 6-4, allowing 3 goals in each of the games. But well, in regulation, allowing shootout goals counts as a loss. But if you count just regulation goals, regulation overtime goals, Canada giving up 2, and giving up 3 against its Swiss counterpart, 2 against its Norwegian counterpart. Norway, an embarrassment of an effort, albeit a close game. But yes, taking Norway unseriously, just not on in the future. Just don't play down to your opponents. No, my hometown Leafs have played down to opponents, thinking maybe that's just going to be the game. But it came close. I mean, Lawson Krause, with under half a minute to go in regulation in the Canada-Czechia game, scored an empty netter. But yes, it just, why should it be this hard for at least 3 goals? Just, I don't know if the team's built right, but again, it is progress. Important piece of progress. Regulation win. But again, when it comes to the United States and Czechia, I don't think the American team will be able to take Czechia lightly. Switzerland, Germany, well, Germany, Germany may have finished 4th, and by a hair, finished behind its Latvian and Czech counterparts. So 13 points for Latvian and Czech teams, 12 for the German one. Very tight, to say the least. Canada got 15. Finland with 16. Sweden with 18. American with 20. Very tight. At the top and at the bottom, Slovakia ended up with 11 points. But again, wasn't going to be enough. Slovakia did win its last game with 4-1 against its Norwegian counterpart, but too many points on the table early on, and for 2023 tournament, it was. I mean, they had teams from mostly from a lot of them from all over the Schengen area, some from relatively close, from within the former Czechoslovakia, some from Czechia, others from Slovakia, and in terms of NHLers, no Slavkovsky, but definitely a few on AHL teams. So, Pavel Regenda, a winger, under contract to the Anaheim Ducks via the San Diego Gulls. Samuel Knajko on the Cleveland Monsters, but playing under contract to the Columbus Blue Jackets to the south in Ohio. Milos Kelemen playing under an undrafted by any in the NHL forward. Well, undrafted winger playing for the Tucson Roadrunners, but under contract to the Arizona Coyotes. Not sure where he's going to go after his contract's over. I have Shimon Nemetz. So, under contract to the New Jersey Devils via the Utica Comets. So, and then we have Martin Horomiak of the Ontario Reign of the AHL. But Wikipedia doesn't show. Alright, let's see here. Martin Horomiak. It's good to see the cat friendly. It's very good to do. So, playing for the Ontario Reign. Apparently he's under contract to the LA Kings via their Ontario, California AHL affiliate. Yeah. Certainly, well, he was, he completed already 2 seasons of his NHL entry-level contract. The upcoming season will be the 3rd of 4. And that will be... So there's no arbitration rights that the end of the contract comes with, but in the minors, it has $8,000 per season cap hit, $820,000 if at the NHL level. So he's in the minors. I'm not sure if he's played in the NHL yet, and he didn't play for the Ontario Reign at all. And he did play for the Ontario Reign this most recent season, putting in the regular season, having put up 28 points, 15 goals over 55 games, and the postseason, having put up an assist over 2 games. Wow, very interesting there. So Martin Horomiak. So, I mean, there's no Slavkovsky, although he was injured. Yeah, Slovakia missed out. Let's see about, Czechia has a whole bunch of NHLers. Alright, so let's see what it's doing there. Well, Rudolphs, Baltzers, playing for the Syracuse Crunch at the AHL, whilst under contract to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Well, that was his most recent season. Arturs Shilovs, playing for the Abbotsford Canucks, whilst under contract to the Vancouver Canucks. Yeah, I can almost call Shilovs a Vancouver Canuck because he spent so much time this past season with the NHL club. And Arvils Bergmanis with the Alaska Nanooks of the NCAA Division 1, NCAA First Division. But I'm not sure where the Nanooks are based. There. Old Fairbanks. Yeah, rather remote. And then we have the other one. We have Christian Rubins playing for the Calgary Wranglers, the HL, whilst under contract to the local Flames squad. So, not exactly a who's who of NHLers either. But, Shilovs. So, yes. I managed to get through. The honor is playing the playing Sweden. I don't know. I'd say Latvia's going to be a tough out for Sweden. Czech will be a tough out for the United States. Germany will be a tough out for Switzerland. And Finland will be a tough out for Canada. So, and if I can make a prediction in terms of which teams and which divisions will make it out, if there is one team prediction to make it, it's probably going to be at least one team that finished in a top 2 spot makes it to a semifinal, and one team that finished the top, 3rd or 4th will do so. It's very hard to know, though. I mean, that's just for me. So it's going to be on Thursday. Mackenzie Weegar, Calgary Flames defenseman, still the biggest point producer for Canada's Adult men's team. 9 points, 3 of them goals, over 7 round-robin games. So, average slightly over a point per game. Yeah, well, it's definitely a very interesting one. I watched a little bit of the Finland-Denmark game, and I figured with that game having, been like a 4-0, you figured, turn it off. So on one of the TSN channels, I had 2 games on, 2 different tablets. So with the Denmark-Finland game on a secondary one, and the primary one was going to be watching that Switzerland game. So yeah, that win in overtime. Well, okay, what was there? Yeah, overtime win by Latvia counterpart. Again, doesn't matter too much. All practical effects, Switzerland had already clinched top spot in Group B of the top division. But yes, Latvia getting that win, that one extra point helped. Beyond just one, it would have been otherwise flipped, and Czechia would have finished 3rd, Latvia 4th. But yeah, so I watched that game, very entertaining one. Switzerland, Latvia, very end. Finland was 7-1. Wow. A blowout. Danish adult men's team. Yeah. Where did Denmark go? Yeah. Finished with 8 points. 2 regulation wins. 1 overtime win. And 4 regulation losses. So, yes. Yeah. A regulation win counts for 6 points. Will count for 3 points. In IHF tournaments. Overtime shootout wins count for 2. Overtime shootout losses count for 1 point each. And regulation losses count for 0. So yeah. It's going to be definitely interesting which team are actually going to get in. It's going to be so unpredictable. I mean, hopefully Canada will be prepared to play its Finnish counterpart because, Finland's a host, but aside from that, Finland's has only lost 1 game in regulation so far in this tournament. The other loss was where was Finland here? The shootout to its Swedish counterpart. So yes, that's very interesting. The IHF, and I'm not gonna go to the NHL in the off season for the Raptors and Leafs. Well, first for the Leafs, I would say that there have been rumors swirling around that President Shanahan wants to run back the Core 4. That would be a huge mistake because the Core 4, or at least not enough members of it, got the job done. If he wants evidence, all he has to do, go to NHL stats for the Leafs and look at the second round. Type in the different dates. But I'll make it simple for him. William Nylander, a winger, scored this many goals. Again, on Panthers main goalie Sergei Bobrovsky. Marner scored this many goals. Matthews and Tavares combined for this many goals. See that 0? Yeah. Tavares has a no move clause, well, full blown one, that is to last for the remainder of his contract. And he's slowed down. I'm not sure if he will be moved or which member of the core 4 will be moved. But again, I'm quite concerned. Hopefully, Shanahan will hire a GM who will not leave the core 4 untouched. Because if that happens, because if the core 4 is untouched, just wait for next season, when Matthews and Nylander can walk for nothing, as they will be unrestricted free agents. So hopefully, the understanding is it's taking that team to the next level. Otherwise, it'll be a missed opportunity. I mean, there are no guarantees, of course, in terms of playoff success. But again, gotta trade. I'd say. At least one. Matthews. Move Matthews or Nylander. The Leafs need to clear cap space, so that they can add, pieces, depth pieces, defense, secondary scoring, and goaltending. Ilya Samsonov wasn't very good in a lot of games during the postseason. A lot of those losses were at home, not on the road, where one might have expected him to struggle. Then those defensive lapses, also by forwards as well, and secondary scoring, opening up shooting lanes. And that's what Leafs didn't do enough of on Bobrovsky, unlike on Vasilevsky in the Leafs 2023 opening round series. And then we go to the Raptors, and who's going to go, who's going to stay. Still going on, still no head coach after the firing of Nick Nurse. But again, it is there's still quite a ways to go in the offseason, but the NBA draft will be coming up in June. Ditto and then there's free agency period. And yes, see if there's any news on any suspension issued to Jamie Benn for a dirty hit on Golden Knights captain Mark Stone in Game 3 of the 2023 Stars Golden Knights series. Well, it was like a really pressure applied. See, lots of replays, pressure applied. It would have one thing. It would have been just interference or so on Stone, and they were earlier in the game, not even 2 minutes in, I believe it was, and then it might have been called interference had it not been that cross check on the throat. Interference, down 2 minutes, Jay Benn stays in the game. But nope. Ben decided he was going to have to go. He needed to go that little bit further, and he had 3 extra minutes tacked on, and gone to the dressing room, and out, just absolutely. I congratulate the Golden Knights on their win. I'm not rooting for, I'm kind of staying out a little bit of those conference finals. Just going to determine when they wrap up, to determine, whether a team at least one team that before this season didn't win a Stanley Cup final will qualify for this year's Stanley Cup final. It'll be so nice to have 2 teams to qualify for a cup, for this year's Cup final, because that means that there's going to be a team that going into the season had yet to win a Stanley Cup final that wins the that gets to hoist the Stanley Cup. Last 3 seasons have featured teams that going into the Cup finals had already won at least one apiece. Back to the Lightning and Bolts and Stars, 2020, 2021, Bolts and Habs, 2022, Bolts and Avs, and looks like the repeat Stanley Cup champions, those teams that going into this season have been repeat Stanley Cup champions. Well, Stars and Canes are on the ropes, each down 3-0. Well, those years are likely over, but again, I wouldn't say never for the teams that are behind. It's not going to be easy, to just close out those series. But again, face facts, it's not going to be easy to come back. Once a team has lost 3 games in the playoff series, but has won not more than 1, it a lot of times just game over. Or what that? Oh, it's just some phone call from an unknown party. So yeah, so game over. Yeah. Yeah. Well, almost a lot of times it is. Except if you're the Leafs or Leafs 2021 or Bruins last month. Leafs in 2021 had a 3-1 series lead over the Habs in a North Division semifinal. Habs won 3 straight and took the series in 7 games. Bruins were ahead of the Florida Panthers 3-1. Like the Leafs, during their North Division stint, the Bruins had finished first in their own division. And the Habs and Panthers had respectively finished 4th in the relevant divisions. So in the Atlantic, in the case of the Bruins and Panthers, yes. So, yeah. So it's not impossible, but again, there's 3-0. My prediction is it's going to be probably no more than 2 games from now in each of the conference finals. They're going to be over. Not more than that. The Raptors went down 3-0 in their opening round 2022 series against the 76ers. Went down 3-0. Well, started on the road, but still, the Raptors won one of those games on the road. One of those games in Philly, it would have been less problematic to come back. The Raptors would have been down 2-1 at home, and it would have been a tie series rather than down 3-1, going to Philly. Although yes, the Raptors ended up losing at home in Game 6, but yeah, the Raptors finally did end up winning on the road, but it's too little too late. And the Raptors had made a lot of adjustments since then. It should have been taken to the next level. Make those adjustments to the roster to get them to the next level, which is a conference semifinal. Like what happened in 2020. Nope. This season was an embarrassment, and the Raptors are out. Well, the Raptors were eliminated in a play-in game against the Chicago Bulls, a team with no bet. When I think of the Bulls, it's a team that struggled just to get in. Finished in 10th, ended up being beat by the Miami Heat in play-in game number 2. The Raptors had a golden opportunity to get in, but didn't get past a single play-in game. Finished 9th. They would have needed to finish 7th or 8th to be able to have 2 chances to qualify for a playoff series. They only had 1, and they blew it. Yeah, one loss would have eliminated them, and that's what happened. I'm not sure where the Raptors go from here, but they're going to have to make some changes. There's a question of re-signing center Jakob Poeltl. Who knows what's going to happen? And as I blew this thread, that vicious hit by Jamie Benn is going to see if there's any news. See if he's captain. So no doubt there's a hearing. Well, there's latest news. Well, from TSN was also backed up by the NHL Player Safety Department. Was that Ben was going to have a hearing. The outcome, as far as I know, has not yet been determined. But if he escapes If he escapes suspension, I'll be amazed. That hit was vicious, dangerous, and unnecessary. In any case, I'm gonna wrap this up. Before I go, I'll mention that anyone, if you like the video, click the like button. If you want to subscribe to my channel, please feel free to do so. If you do subscribe, you'll get more time notification of videos I put out. Try to put out videos at least every other week. Although, as the NHL and NBA off seasons keep on going, it may be a little bit less frequently. On that note, I'm going to say, go Raps go, go Leafs go, and go Canada go.